Hey there, this is the One Boom, and everybody that gives a shit knows that Infinite Warfare was way better at post-launch content than Black Ops 3. It was way more giving, it was way more pro-consumer, and while I think Infinity Ward had a great deal to do with that, I also wonder if maybe I've been looking at it wrong. Maybe the reason Infinite Warfare kind of slowed down the predatory microtransactions that came before with Black Ops 3 was because there were still people playing Black Ops 3, and Modern Warfare Remastered came out at the same time and also had its own microtransaction system. Meaning Activision was pulling money from three sources: Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and Modern Warfare Remastered. So Infinite Warfare didn't have the incredibly high monetary goal that Black Ops 3 might have had, because when they're making a little bit of money from MWR and a little bit of money from Black Ops 3, they don't need to penny and dime you to death in Infinite Warfare. The player base is happier, and you're making roughly the same amount of money. It's not affecting your bottom line as much. It's more complicated than that. I know Infinite Warfare didn't quite sell as well. I know that they had to kind of win people's trust. There's a lot going on there, and I'm just kind of blowing past all of the complexities so I can get to the core of this video. Call of Duty Mobile made $20 million in its first, 2-3 days out on the App Store and the Google Play Store? And that's a free-to-play mobile game. A free-to-play mobile game made them $20 million in like 3 days. And that's incredible. It's incredible for Modern Warfare especially. I wonder if the reason they're not charging for a season pass isn't just out of the goodness of their heart, but because they know they can make up their monetary loss by not penny and diming people to death with Modern Warfare by releasing a mobile game with tons of microtransactions that's free that lures in lots of people. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that's kind of distasteful, but again, if you want to charge people up the ass in your free-to-play game, that's not going to set off my morally corrupt alarm when, obviously kids might buy things and that's not good, but that's up to the parents. That's not up to the company, it's not up to the government, it's up to the parents, okay? So when it comes down to it, if people want to buy microtransactions in a free-to-play, that's fine. What bothers most people is that games like Black Ops 3 and 4 had the same amount of microtransactions as a free-to-play game, even though it cost $60 and both had season passes. Their monetary goals might not be as high for Modern Warfare over the next year if they have a mobile game that's raking in $20 million in 3 days, and we also have to look at another factor. You might be wondering, why didn't you mention Call of Duty World War II? They had a pretty decent microtransaction and post-launch system. Yeah, I agree. But see, this is where I think Activision might be a secret genius. An evil secret genius, but a secret genius nonetheless. Call of Duty World War II was very thematically and gameplay-wise different than Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 3 before it. They know that not everybody wants to leave behind the 3D movement, space, or cyborg setting of Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare to go play COD World War II. And hell, they were right. I didn't play COD World War II that much. I honestly found it to be kind of boring. COD World War II is such a good COD game, it got me into Rainbow Six Siege. So they know they're going to keep making money from their microtransactions in Infinite Warfare and in Black Ops 3, and also Modern Warfare Remastered to a degree, even though at that point the player base for that had kind of tapered off a bit. So their monetary goals weren't as high for COD World War II. Then Black Ops 4 comes out, and they know a lot of people are craving that style of Call of Duty, the Treyarch style, the socially acceptable Call of Duty style, and I don't think people really got the Treyarch style they were looking for, and I think some people are still in denial about that, but whatever. Fanboys will be fanboys. I know I'm one when it comes to certain things. If you're not following along, here's what I'm saying. Because of the thematic and gameplay changes in COD World War II, Activision and the developers knew that not everybody's going to jump on board with COD World War II, and they knew that some people would stay with Infinite Warfare or Black Ops 3, thus setting the monetary goals for COD World War II lower. You see where I'm going with this? Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare are drastically different, both in gameplay design and thematics and everything. There are a lot of people that are going to be sticking with Black Ops 4 because they don't like the style of Call of Duty that Modern Warfare is. Slower, campier, pseudo-realism, they don't want that. They want the more arcadey, vibrantly colored Black Ops style of Call of Duty that BO4 is. They'll be making money from two sources, and it might just be like 1/3 Black Ops 4, 2/3 Modern Warfare. Let's just pull numbers out of our ass, I guess. But it's still going to be making up the difference, and then if you toss in Call of Duty Mobile on top of that, their monetary goals for Modern Warfare might be a little bit lower. The game doesn't need to make quite as much money because people are sticking with the previous game, which is loaded with microtransactions, and a Battle Royale mode that Modern Warfare isn't going to launch with, and zombies, which Modern Warfare won't have, and Modern Warfare won't even have survival on 2 out of the 3 platforms, which is egregious, but this all comes together to say people are going to stick with Black Ops 4 for Blackout, zombies, and that more designated 3-lane, fast-paced multiplayer. Call of Duty Mobile is going to monetize the hell out of itself, so Activision gets to keep their profits up while not pissing off the community with Modern Warfare. If they don't throw us a bone once in a while, if they don't lay off the gas a little bit once in a while, we get very, very upset. And rightfully so. We should hold them accountable to their bullshit, but this actually might be a great idea. It's also worth mentioning that during the time of Infinite Warfare's life cycle, Overwatch was making a shit ton of money. That might also be a reason Activision didn't set such high monetary goals for IW. It's simple. Black Ops 4 features a drastically different style of Call of Duty game than compared to Modern Warfare. Call of Duty Mobile is going to be bringing in its own player base. That's two sources of revenue for Activision. They might not try to charge you $20 for a melee weapon in Modern Warfare is what I'm saying. That might be a reason that there's no season pass. Activision's not going to do anything just to be the good guy. I think no season pass is a good indication that they're not trying to make as much money on Modern Warfare by itself, and they have other places they can bring in revenue without pissing off the fan base of Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare, I feel like, is trying to market more towards the classic Call of Duty community that maybe didn't feel like they were quite heard when it came to COD World War II, and felt alienated since Call of Duty Ghosts, and they're trying to bring them back. And what better way to do it than to reboot the Modern Warfare series? You can't bring those people back and then charge them $20 for a melee weapon, but we'll see. I am not trying to sit here and paint the world pink. I am honestly just saying this is a possibility. We might see this. Everyone's gonna say, boom, you're delusional, you're in denial. No, I'm just playing an idea game here. Just treat it as a mental exercise, as a possibility, as a massive what if. Activision already fucked up with Modern Warfare. I mean, we've already seen it. They let Sony take an entire game mode for a year. Now, even if it's a side mode, it's small, and Spec Ops is going to be huge, and the campaign, the multiplayer is all going to be on equal level, and blah blah blah. You know, that's great and all, but there's still a portion of the game missing for everybody for 12 months. So they already fucked us there. They already fucked 2/3 of the player base right there. I know a lot of people have canceled their pre-orders out of principle because of that, and I totally respect them. Modern Warfare will have supply drops. Modern Warfare will have some sort of RNG or battle pass system. Timed events where you can only earn something at one time, but they might not feel the need to be as egregious as they were in Black Ops 4 and in Black Ops 3. I urge you all that are going to be buying Modern Warfare and you're excited for the game to wait and see. Don't live in paranoia, wait for it to happen. Something will, and then we'll gauge the level of frustration we're supposed to have. For me, all they have to do is not limit weapons, stat change weapons, things that affect gameplay. They cannot limit them to an RNG drop. You can charge people up the nose for cosmetics, more cosmetics, extra cosmetics, several more cosmetics. Go for it, I don't care. As long as they fit within the theme of the game, I'm really not going to be mad about anything they do with cosmetics. Is if they add stat-changing weapons to RNG-based systems and don't give you any reasonable ways to earn them otherwise, that's where I draw the line. And you guys know that about me. Some of you are thinking that my head's in the clouds about Modern Warfare and that I'm in denial, and I keep getting those types of comments. But those of you that have been around for a while on this channel, you know that's not the case. But to summarize the main point of this video and to kind of, step away from this digression, because of the revenue Activision's going to see with Black Ops 4 maintaining its player base and Call of Duty Mobile maintaining its own little player base, they're not going to try to sap as much revenue as possible from Modern Warfare. But we'll have to see. That's all just speculation. It's an idea. Hell, frame it as an ideal. But because I'm a greedy pig, I want to talk about this a little bit more. Yes, to get to the 10-minute mark, but also because this is important. We have to pick our battles, okay? I picked mine with Black Ops 4 as soon as it got to a point where I started feeling laughed at for playing the game, and it was just getting worse and worse. It started with the dollar reticule, and I was like, who cares? I'm not gonna die on that hill. $20 melee weapon, okay, who cares? It's just dumb. Then they took weapons out of the battle pass and put them into supply drops you could earn on the battle pass. They completely regressed to exactly what the community hated, knowing full well it would make them more money and get kids to grind the game more and to inflate player numbers and sales. That's where I drew the line. Now you might draw the line all the way back at has a battle pass. You might draw the line at doesn't have survival mode on Xbox and PC for a year. You might draw the line at has a supply drop in the first place. That's your line. Don't expect everybody to be on the same level as you. Don't fucking stick your nose in the air because you're not buying a game because it might have a supply drop in it, or because the supply drops have too many helmets and outfits and calling cards in them. Do not get a superiority complex because you don't like it. If you don't like it, don't buy it, that's fine. You have my respect. The moment you go on Reddit and Twitter and in YouTube comment sections and try to inform everybody that they're being misled, that they're sheep somehow, and that you're some sort of activist that's making gaming better, okay, first of all, look at the rest of your life. How many products in your house are from morally corrupt companies? Most of us don't want to look into the controversy around the people that make your, bathroom cleaner or something along those lines. That might be a little too real for you. Some of us are okay with buying products knowing that the companies that run them only have one thing in mind: money. We've accepted that fact. Everybody's line is different. Draw yours where you want it, stay behind it, and just respect the fact that not everybody is going to share your same conviction. Not everybody's mad about the thing you're mad at. Some things people just don't care about, okay? You have to respect that. I think it's funny that Call of Duty has had supply drops in their games since 2014, and in 2019 people are like, I'm not buying it, it's gonna have supply drops. It's like, where were you? Like, to me, that's just confusing, that's surprising. It's like, wow, you're such a little activist, you're really showing them. I bet you didn't buy Black Ops 3 either because you knew it was gonna have supply drops. Bet you didn't buy Infinite Warfare after that. Bet you didn't buy Modern Warfare Remastered after that. Bet you didn't buy COD World War II after that. And I bet you didn't buy Black Ops 4 either, right? You've avoided Call of Duty since 2014? No? Well then shut the fuck up. You're not morally superior because you're avoiding a microtransaction in video games. Some of us can play the game just fine and avoid them until we get to the point that we start to feel pissed off by them. Take the time to draw your own lines and not everybody else's. See you when I see you, goodbye.